What it takes is sacrifice. That's the first word I'm going to use. Nobody likes it, but it takes a lot of sacrifice. The second thing is you've got to be so committed. You can't get to the end of the day and say, oh, I've done enough today, that'll do. But through it all, I just had this feeling inside of me, I can do this. I can do this. And do you know what? I'm going to find a way.
So let's dig into that a little bit
Yeah.
more. Like, you've had some big lows. I want to talk about,
Yeah.
obviously we're going to lead up to where you are now, but tell us about some of those things. So I think it's easy to look at you and
Yeah.
think, oh, you've got it all sorted out. You're like the pin-up girl for online business. You're out there doing your talks. You're like
Yeah.
Newcastle's answer to Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Like, tell us the shit stuff.
Do you know, Joe, that what you've just said there is really powerful for me to hear. Your Newcastle's answer to Mel Robbins, because it's a really good reflection for me to be associated with the people that I look up to. So that for me feels like really good energy. So thank you for that. I'll take that, and I will repeat that sentence. That is
Yeah.
an example of I've
Oh,
heard that, and some people will say, "Oh no, that's not me." I'm like, "Yeah, thank you. I'll take that. That's me. Whether it's me or not, that is me now. I will take that, and I'll put
there
it
you
in my little." So thank you. I'm 39 now, and I first started trying to build a company, a coaching business, a speaking business, a writing business when I was 23. And I would honestly say it has taken me my whole life to figure it out. And it's only what feels like to me in the last 36 months, the last 3 years, that I've really figured it out and started really feeling the benefit of it. But the weird thing is that I have had success on the journey. I just couldn't hold the success because I had a major issue around money, and it took me a long time to see it. So I'm going to tell you something that might shock people. On my journey to where I am now, and I run this multiple six-figure online education business, I'm pushing to seven figures. That's my goal. Over the next few years, I want to take it up to seven figures. I've been in debt 3 times. The
go.
first time I got into debt, I got into £100,000 worth of debt. And honestly, I felt like my world was ending. I was 27, 28, 29 when it happened. I felt like the biggest failure on the planet. I got into 100K worth of debt. And when it happened, I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. It was everyone else's fault but my own. It was the economy. It was what I had or hadn't been taught growing up. It was the people around me. It was everything. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. It took me years to pay off that debt. And when I got out of debt, I actually got myself back into debt. 65 grand was the second time I got into debt. 65,000. But the weird thing about it is I watched myself do it the second time. I watched myself get into debt and I couldn't stop myself. Isn't that weird? I was
Mm.
actually doing a poor behavior. It's like when you want to get in shape and you end up eating the full pack of Revels, or you want to have a better relationship, but you go quiet, you can't communicate how you feel. You're watching yourself do it, but you can't change it. And in this time over these years, I was reading books, I was on courses for money mindset, I was doing it all. And I ended up in therapy. I had one therapy session and I confessed everything about my debt and my issues. It was so cathartic that driving home from being in debt, I think it must have been this, that must have been the third time. Third time I got into debt was 8,000. When I
Right.
got into debt the third time, I watched myself do it. And this time I had to make a decision. I can't do this again. I have to change my behavior. And I remember going into Aldi, Aldi, the middle aisle. Love
Very
the Aldi
well.
middle
Yes.
aisle. Yeah, favorite place. I go there for a treat. So I went into Aldi and there was like a dog bed. And this dog bed was £22. And I had the money to buy the dog bed. But I said to myself, you can't have that bed. You don't need it. And when I walked out, it honestly felt like heartbreak. It's really hard to explain, but because it was a behavior shift, because it was like a change in what felt like my internal DNA, it actually felt like heartbreak. And I'm just raising this point because I think everyone listening is engaging in a self sabotage behavior. You have a vision, there are projects you have to complete, get them on a straight line through. This is the straight line through to my result. These are the 5 projects I have to complete. These are the behaviors that will get me there. Whatever those behaviors are, look at them and ask, why aren't I doing those behaviors? And whatever's hidden in that answer is your conditioning and your self limiting beliefs and your self sabotage behavior. And when you change and start being the person you want to be the person who does the thing, you can have anything you want. It won't feel good. It will feel like heartbreak because you're going against everything that you know is right. And I say no in inverted commas. You know it's right to do as you're told. You know it's right to have a job. You know it's right to marry and settle down and have kids because that's what you've been conditioned to believe. So to go against it and now make a video and put it on LinkedIn, that's not right. That is not right. Unless you're an entrepreneur, then it is exactly right. And that's what you're going to have to fight. to do this work. And so for me, I'd never had an issue with videos and social, and that's a blessing. I'll take that for whatever reason, but I did have an issue with money,
Yes.
really big issue with money, and that was my heartbreak. And I could never be successful until I figured that out. And when I talk about the projects, putting them in order, I actually think for a lot of people, the first project on their list is make six figures. No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you say the goal is six figures or replace your doctor's salary or move to another country or whatever, work back, and I promise you there'll be 4 or 5 projects before there. The projects will be things like build a personal brand, learn to serve a community, learn how to have an impact. Probably won't make you any money. Then there'll be a project around learn how to put products together and offers together and learn to deliver a result. You probably won't make any money because you should work hard to deliver those results for people when they give you the money. The third project might be, let's start making some money off this. Let's learn to put it away and not give it all away. But if we come all the way back to the beginning, before all of those, I always think there's a secret project that you're avoiding and it's costing you everything. That secret project for me was, Lisa, you're in debt. You've got to get out of debt. You've got to figure it out. Because I always thought one big payday and I'll be fine. But it wasn't true. It was an energy. I had to get out of debt first. And I say this because for some people listening, their project could be, I'm miserable in my job. I'm working too many hours. I need to cut my hours back or take a different job. I hate where I live. I'm really cut off from my family. I need to move. And that might be your next 2-year project. It could
Mm.
be you're miserable in your relationship. It could be that you're not looking after your health. It could be anything. What is the project right now that is shadowing your life? Deal
Mm.
with that, move through that. And the next project becomes, now let me build a brand. But you can't build a brand in that shadow.